Hey y'all, we're out here again at Randy's, and today we're talking about assessing your actual results in golf and in financial planning. When we talk about assessing your actual results, not just dealing in wishful thinking, what does that look like in the golf game?
We would all like to get the most in golf out of our clubs. We'd like to be able to hit them as accurate and as far as we possibly can. Not going to happen. We're human beings. We change from day to day. We don't sleep the same. Might get up a little tired, might get up a little more refreshed, might have eaten a little bit too much, not enough. You get what I'm saying.
Sure.
So we're going to feel different every day. So we come out to the golf course, the range, wherever, our body's going to react differently. Well, so is how we handle these golf clubs. Unfortunately, we get ourselves into situations where we have experts in our foursome when we play. And Bubba gets up there and he takes his 7-iron and he hits it 170 yards. And I figure I'm physically fit as Bubba is. I ought to be able to hit my 7-iron 170 yards. But then again, I'm not built like Bubba. I don't think like Bubba. I don't move like Bubba. I move like me. I need to find out, I need to assess, what does this particular club do for me? One of the things you can do on the range is exactly that. Not try to hit the farthest target necessarily, but when you have a club in your hand, after a half a dozen swings, sort of inventory how far that club went. You then have a guideline of what that club produces for you. So now when you go out to the golf course and you're with your three Bubba friends and you're playing and you get onto a par 3, for instance, and you hit the perfect shot, somebody, one of those 3 Bubbas, is going to say to you, "What did you use?" As if that means anything. Okay? As if they used the exact same club, they would get an equally good shot.
Right.
Well, that would assume that they're going to do exactly everything you did.
Yeah.
False assumption. A correct question would be, how far did you play that? And if you said, well, I played that 140 yards, then the golfer, if he's in tune with what he's doing, is going to select a club that's going to produce 140 yards for him. So I got to take an inventory of that. When you come out on that Sunday morning round and you want to hit a warm-up bucket, don't get out there and try to do what you would love to do. Do what your body is doing that day. Assess it. I remember working a couple of professional tournaments at Congressional, walking up and down the practice range. To a man, they were looking to find out what their swing felt like that day and what their ball position was that day. And that's all they wanted to do. God knows they've hit thousands of golf balls, but they wanted to know what their body that day was going to create, because that's the game they were going to play with.
Sure.
Not the one they wish they had.
So let's go back to that flawed question of what club did you use there?
Yeah.
They
all ask that.
In the financial world, there's an equally flawed question, which is, how much does this mutual fund return? So let's do some math on this. Let's suppose you have $100,000 that you put into a mutual fund. Now, let's suppose that the first year you're in that fund, the market has a bad year, and the market loses 25%. That fund loses 25%. Now, I know you were an English major, not a math major, but if you had $100,000 and you lost 25% of it, how much do you have left?
Maybe $75,000.
Let's call it $75,000.
All right, Tom, let me hear it.
Now, here, I have good news for you. The next year, that fund is back up 30%.
All right,
so
Tom.
you lost 25, but now you're up 30. Well, I won't make you do this one in your head because it's a little tougher.
That is tough.
30% of 75,000 is 22,500. So now you're back up to what? $97,500. But if we look at the average on that mutual fund, what do we have? We were negative 25 and then we were positive 30. That's a 5% return over 2 years. But you have less money than what you started with. So, completely flawed question to ask, what does this mutual fund return? We need to think about longer term things. How much income can we get off this? There are a lot of other ways you should be assessing investments than just looking at that column. When your 401k choices come out and you see those columns and you say, how much did it return in the last 2 years or 5 years or 10 years? Those numbers aren't really telling you the whole story. So make sure you're assessing your actual results and making decisions accordingly.